let us know about what you're doing in schools to help transform and positively impact young people and teachers and parents and everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for the very warm welcome. I will not bother with the good morning because it's not morning everywhere. It's different time zones all over the world. I'm just so happy to be here with all of you. I like to introduce the program with a game, you know so it's a fun game, right? So it's not this whole presentation that I have planned for you. It's totally interactive. Yeah, so I am not here to bore you, with too much talking. Yeah, so we're going to start with the game. Yeah, so this game is called the Mountain Tree River game. And you know something? This game works best if everybody has their videos on for a little bit during the game. Is that okay? Yeah? Can we all have our videos on? It's okay if your homes are a mess. It's okay. Nobody bothers about it these days.
Put a
Yeah?
background. Just put a background.
Yeah, just put a background. So this game is called the Mountain Tree River game, and it has three simple instructions. Yeah, when I say mountain, we put our hands on top like this. Okay, when I say tree, you make like the branches of a tree, okay, with your hands. And when I say river, you put your hands down on your lap. Okay, mountain, tree, river. That's it. Yeah. Now the whole time, even though we are on Zoom, yeah, keep your eyes open and eyes on me. Okay, because I could say mountain and do this, but you go by what I'm calling for and not necessarily follow my action. Okay, but your eyes need to be open and eyes on me. Even though we are in Zoom, okay, we're going to follow an honor system and assume everyone's going to play this, honestly. Yeah. So, and it's just a game, right? So don't stress. Nothing happens. You don't lose your money or anything for participating. So just participate 100%. Yeah. Okay. So just take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Relax. Okay. All right. Mountain, tree, river. Mountain, eyes on me. Tree, river. Mountain. What's mountain? Yeah, river. Tree. Tree. River. Mountain. Tree. Tree. Mountain. Mountain. River. Tree. Mountain. Tree. Tree, river, river, mountain, river, tree. You guys were so good at this, and I'm so glad to see lots of smiles over here. Yeah, how many of us had fun playing this game? Show me a thumbs up if you had fun. 2 thumbs up. I like that. Yeah, so cool, right? Okay, so what skills do you need to do well in this game? What skills do you need? You can either unmute and speak or just type it in the chat box. Okay, focus on the instruction, intellect, listening, listen attentively, listening, yes. Reflexes, good reflexes help. Be attentive, follow instructions, hand eye ear coordination. Goodness. Pay attention, listening, yeah. Focus. All good, awesome answers. Very nice. Watching, kinesthetic intelligence, concentration. Okay, awesome. Okay, now tell me something. How many of us, have this experience during the day? We are sitting in a meeting, or we are sitting with our, students in the class or whatever job we do. And we're sitting there, we're physically there, but our mind is somewhere else. How many of us have that experience at least once a day? We find our mind is somewhere else. Yeah, happens to all of us, right? Now, do you think, some of you are saying all day long, yeah, that happens too. Yeah, so do you think it would be good to keep your mind where your body is? How many of you think that's a good skill to have? Wow, is that even possible to keep the mind where the body is in the present moment? Yeah, so that is the skill we teach in the Sky Schools program, right? To bring your mind where the body is to the present moment. Yeah, like mindfulness, right? Now, what do we use in our program to achieve this, to bring the body and mind together to the present moment, right? So we use our breath. Why the breath? What is so amazing about the breath? What do you guys think? It helps you relax the mind. Breath helps relax the mind. Yes. What else? It tells us how we feel. It keeps us awake. We need oxygen to do all the other things. It's an effective filter. It helps us release stress, to be free, to feel relaxed. Awesome. All wonderful answers. Yeah. So, one of the most important aspects about our breath, besides all these answers you've put in the chat box, is that, the breath is always in the present moment. Right? Right now, are you breathing in the yesterday? My sentence doesn't even make sense, right? Right now, are you breathing tomorrow? Well, hopefully we're all breathing tomorrow, but right now, your breath is here in the present moment, right? So the breath is the tool we use to bring the mind to the present moment. Because it's very hard, not impossible, but very hard to tell the mind, come to the present moment. It's very hard to get your mind to listen to the mind. No? Like how many of you, have tried telling yourself to go to sleep? I have to wake up early tomorrow, go to sleep, fall asleep, already go to sleep. How does that work for you? Does that work for you? Not really, right? It only drives the sleep even farther away. It goes farther away. So the mind has a really hard time telling itself what to do, right? So we need a tool outside of the mind to condition the mind, right? And that is where the breath comes in. Yeah. So how many of you have ever tried flying a kite? Yeah, the kite, the thing, yeah? Okay, now if the kite did not have a string and you just let it go, what happens to it? It just goes any which way. Wherever the wind takes it, it goes. Like our mind, right? Our mind also does not have direction. It'll just go wherever the thoughts take it. It'll go here, there, past, future, anywhere. So the breath is like the string which gives direction to the mind, right? So, just like the string gives direction to the kite, the breath is the tool outside of the mind that gives direction to the mind. Yeah. So that is what we focus on in the Sky Schools program. I have been associated with this program for the past 12 years. And in my life before that, I worked in the IT industry. I'm a software engineer by profession. And what really made me make this big switch is the personal benefits I gained from this program. In the early 2000s, I lost my only sibling to cancer. And how everybody responds to grief in different ways. In my case, it resulted in depression. Every morning I didn't want to get up, like getting out of bed was like such a big thing for me. And I couldn't sleep at night. I would just toss and turn. My mind would just be spinning with, why did this happen? What did we do to deserve this? Why did it not happen to that person? Why to my family, right? So I would just be spinning like that and I couldn't sleep. So I went to my doctor, which is what you do when you can't sleep. And what they do in America, at least, is they're trained to write prescriptions. That's what their training teaches them. So this doctor picked up the prescription pad and said, okay, antidepressant, sleep meds, anti-anxiety meds, like 3-4 things she wrote on the prescription pad. Till then, the only medicines I'd taken in my life were like, paracetamol to reduce your fever or something for your upset tummy. I had never seen medicines like this before. And when I went online and looked at the long-term side effects of these medicines, I was shocked. They're supposed to help you, but in the long term, they can result in Alzheimer's. They can result in, fertility issues. They can result even in suicidal tendencies. So I said, I have this one body, this one life. I'm not going to put these medicines into my system. Right? So a friend of mine had been telling me for the longest time, do this program. They will teach you breathing techniques that will help you with all your emotions and your sleep and everything. And I was like extremely left-brained, being from a, tech background. So I told her, well, I'm breathing all the time, 24/7. Why do I need to learn how to breathe? I was born, I already knew how to breathe, right? So why do I need to learn? But she said, just go, just breathing to live and breathing consciously is a very different thing. So I went and I did this program, and right after the first day, the techniques they taught me, I came home and practiced, and that night I slept through the night. After weeks and months of not sleeping, I slept through the night. And that's when I realized, well, this works. This actually works, right? And so then I made up my mind that, I need to bring this to young people. I need to get trained and bring this program to young people, because imagine if I had this as a school student. It would have helped me with my academic pressure, peer pressure, my relationship with my parents, all the stressors I handled in my life, right? So then I got trained in 2009 to, become a Sky Schools teacher, and I've been involved with this program ever since, So I'm here mostly to share, what has benefited me with all of you, hoping that, you will bring these to your students, to all the people that you serve as part of your life, right? So, what we're going to do next is I'm going to take you through a short experience. Yeah. So we will do some relaxation for our neck and shoulders, because a lot of us hold our stress there. And then we will do a breathing technique called the straw breath, right? And right after that, we will do a short guided relaxation, right? And I for all of you in all different time zones and all different states of sleep deprivation to have some relaxation and downtime. Yeah. All you need to do is just sit and relax with your eyes closed. Can we all do that? Sounds like a good plan? Yeah. Okay. So let's sit up nice and tall if we can. Okay. If it's hard for you to sit up upright, that's okay. Yeah. If you need to stoop a little, that's okay too. Okay. All right. And let's gently close our eyes first. And when our eyes are closed, let's bring our attention to our eyelids. Making sure we have closed them gently and not squeezed them shut. And with our eyes closed, let's gently tilt our face towards the ceiling, stretching the front of the neck. And take a few deep breaths here. This time, as you exhale, bring your chin towards your chest, stretching the back of your neck. Keep breathing. And let's do gentle neck rolls. So bring your head and neck to the right and up and then left and down. Let's do this a few times, coordinating it with our breath. Breathe in, bring your head and neck right and up. Breathe out, left and down. Once again, right and up, left and down. Let's switch directions. So go anti-clockwise, breathe in left and up. Breathe out right and down. Breathe in left and up, right and down. One more time. And when your chin comes towards your chest, breathe in and slowly straighten your head. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Feel the stretch in the left side of your neck. Breaths. Inhale up. Exhale, left ear to the left shoulder. Once again, inhale up. And this time, as you exhale, gently turn your head and neck to the right side, keeping the eyes closed. Inhale, and as you exhale, side, keep breathing. Inhale back to the center and relax. Breathe in. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Tighten your shoulder blades a little and hold your breath for a moment. Tight, tight, tight. Let go with a sigh. Once again, breathe in. Shoulders come up. Tight, tight, tight. And this time, let go with a sigh and a smile. Happy sigh. Let's gently rotate our shoulders. So bring your shoulders front and up, back and down. Front and up, back and down. Let's go the other way. Back and up, front and down. Back and up, front and down. One more time. And relax your shoulders. Breathe in from the nostrils. And breathe out. Relax your body. Now we'll do something called the straw breath. Keeping the eyes closed, gently breathe in from the nose. And breathe out through a pretend straw between your lips. So make a small hole between your lips and breathe out through that. Breathe in from the nose, out from the straw in your mouth. Let's do this 3 more times, each time making our breath more gentle and quieter. Your breath is so quiet, even you cannot hear it. Last one, breathe in from the nose and a very slow, gentle exhale through the straw. Let's close our lips and relax with our eyes closed. Become aware of all the sounds around you. The sounds inside and outside your home. The sound of your own breath. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Let's accept and relax with all these sounds in our life. Become aware of your body. Become aware of your feet, your knees, your thighs, your hips, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax your legs all the way from your hips to your toes. Bring your attention to your stomach. Your chest, shoulders, arms, gently bring your attention to your neck, your face, to your head, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax your whole body from your head to your toes. Bring your attention to the thoughts in your mind, if any. Good thoughts or bad thoughts, let's not analyze them. Breathe in and breathe out. Relax even more. Bring your attention to your feelings and emotions, if any. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, let go. You are peace, you are joy. One more deep breath in and breathe out, relax. Become aware of your feelings and emotions, if any. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, relax. Bring your attention to the thoughts in your mind, if any. Breathe in and breathe out, relax. Become aware of your whole body. This beautiful body is a gift from nature. With a feeling of gratitude, take a deep breath in and breathe out, relax. Bring your attention to all the sounds around you. The sound of your own breath, the sounds inside and outside your home. Take a deep breath in and exhale with a gentle smile. Slowly becoming aware of your body and your surroundings. Taking your own time. Open your eyes. No hurry. Take your time. Slowly open your eyes. So, how was that? So, how does feels happy? Good, relaxed, relaxing. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. See, we just had our eyes closed and we did this whole thing for like 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. Thank you so much for all your comments, very positive. Thank you. Yeah. So, just in this 15 minutes, we can relax so deeply, right? So, imagine if you could retain this state of the mind for the whole day, right? How much more you could achieve. How positive your interaction with every human being would be, right? How present you would be for your students, your family, your friends, right? You'd be so much more there, right? So that is what Sky Schools is all about. Yeah. So Sky Schools is offered through a non-profit called the International Association for Human Values, right? Because when we are relaxed, when we are stress free, that's when we can exhibit
Hmm?
human values
Wow.
to the best of our potential, right? That's when we can be kind, respectful, nice, good to everybody. Otherwise, all our actions, our words, our thinking, all that is coming from a space of stress, right? And we just like, how in these days the COVID germs, we say it spreads so fast. Stress also spreads very fast. How many of you agree with that? Yeah. If you're around angry people all the time, you catch on to their anger. You also become angry for no reason, right? So stress is worse than the pandemic, right? So that's why, nowadays I don't even read the social media posts. I'm like, please, it's just all so negative, right? Yeah. Okay. So stress spreads. So let's learn techniques to spread peace. Okay. Yeah, and stress decreases your immune system. That's very true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, do you have any questions for me at this point? Anybody has any questions? We do have to pause and recenter. That's very true. Yeah. Okay. No questions. Okay. So, I would like to do one more little process. So our program also has a CASEL. A CASEL is an organization in the United States, social emotional learning program. Yeah, so we also have a CASEL approved social emotional learning curriculum. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that for you guys now. Yeah, so this little point we teach in a lot of elementary and early middle schoolers. Yeah. So how many of you have ever been in a situation where you've been in a classroom or in a brand new school where you don't know anybody? How many of us have been in that situation? Even now as adults, have you ever been in places where we don't know anybody at all? Yeah. So what do we normally feel in that situation? How do we normally feel? Anxious, embarrassed, nervous, Yeah. Shy, strange, conscious, insecure. Yeah. Nervous, lonely. Yeah. Opposite of confident, stressed, like a fish out of sea, apprehensive. Yeah. Locked, focused, also possible, right? Stressed, afraid, right? So we feel a lot of largely negative emotions. Yes, you may also feel excited, yay, I'm going to meet new people, right? So in that situation, when we are feeling nervous, lonely, nobody knows us, right? How do we want the other people to treat us? What do we want them to do to make us feel comfortable? What would you say? Welcoming, right? We want them to be welcoming, kind, talk to us, be friendly with us, right? Warm, gentle, smile at us, kind, right? All these wonderful things, right? Now, is it up to the other people to come and introduce themselves to us? Is it just their responsibility to come and talk to us? Or do you think we can take that initiative and go introduce ourselves? How many of you think that we can take that initiative? We can go introduce ourselves to others, right? So, in the Sky Schools program, we tell people, stretch your hand first. Don't wait for others to come and make you feel welcoming. You take that initiative. Right? Now, how many of you kids in school know somebody who's sitting all by themselves during recess? Like nobody, they're sitting all by themselves in the playground. We all know somebody like that. So how about we stretch our hand to them first? We go and tell them, hello, my name is, Priya, and would you like to play with me? Right? So how about we stretch our hand first? Now, how many of you, now this happens in the United States a lot. Now, how many of you know somebody in your school who does not speak English yet? Who's new to this country, who does not speak English yet, right? So maybe you can stretch your hand first to them and help them, right? In the process, you can also learn their language. Right? So when we stretch our hand first and make new friends, right, we increase our community, right? We have so many friends on our side. When we have so many friends on our side, people don't want to bully you. There will be so many upstanders next to you, right? Nobody will come to bully you. People will be there on your side. Right? So stretch your hand first. Create that community for yourself. Right? Now, in your school, how many students go to your school? 300, 500, or maybe even 1,000? Lots of students. Yeah? Now, how many friends do you have in the school? How many people are your friends? Maybe your best friends are just 3 or 5 or 10 people, right? But just look at this. If you stretch your hand first, you can make hundreds of friends. Say you go and stretch your hand every day. How many days are there in the year? 365. So in a year, you can make 365 friends. Right? So stretch your hand first. Yeah. Treat others the way they would like to be treated. Right? So stretch your hand first. So this is one of the first, we call it a golden key. It's a social emotional learning point that we bring to our students. Yeah. So this along with the straw breath, because a person who's stressed cannot go and stretch their hand first, right? So it's also important for people to have techniques to reduce their stress. So we ask students to do straw breath 5 times, every time they're feeling stressed. And it takes 10 seconds to do 5 straw breaths, right? So just do it, and it's, kids, it's very, very discreet. Yeah, when you do the straw breath, you don't look uncool or anything. You still look very cool. Nobody can tell. Yeah. So very quietly do the straw breaths and then go stretch your hand first. Yeah. Okay. So, any questions people have for me? Okay.
No, you already answered my question. I was going to ask how many times do you recommend us to make this routine with our students, if possible, or ourselves? But you answered that already. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And as homework, do the straw breath, before you go to sleep. Yeah, and you can do straw breath when you're driving, just with your eyes open. Don't close your eyes. You can do it during when you're driving, anytime there is a stressful, like a conflict situation, you can do 5 straw breaths, right? And also a really good technique to do when you're all ready to sleep. So when you're all tucked in, you're lying down with your eyes closed, just do 5 straw breaths, right? Because if you sleep well, the next day will go better, right? Because a lot of us don't sleep so well, right? We toss and turn, wake up many times, right? So it's really good to do a few straw breaths. Yeah. Yeah, so I know I see this question. How about introverted students who have a hard time approaching someone? It really the attitude starts changing when they do the breathing techniques. They start becoming more and more comfortable with who they are, and they can go and talk to other people. It's a process, it doesn't happen overnight, but with practice it does get better. We've seen a lot of introverted students are able to go and talk in front of people. They're able to give demonstrations or present a project in front of people in just a few days of practicing these breathing techniques. Yeah, that's a good question. Anything else, Armin? Anything?
I have a question because I know that we all experience being stressed out. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure you do as well, Priya. We all have stress in our lives. So, Priya, can we teach these things to our students if we feel so stressed out? Can you explain that a little bit for
Yes.
us?
So what I can do, yes, yes, it's, you can totally teach students how to do the straw breath. Was that the question, Armin?
Kind of, but if I'm really stressed out, and if I'm like, everyone, come on, straw breath, like let's do it. Like I know I won't really bring
With the students.
the energy that you brought to it. So what I'm asking is, can we as teachers teach these things if we don't have them really part of us? Because I mean, I get anxious and nervous and overwhelmed sometimes. So can I teach this? I think it's a question
What
that other
I,
people have.
yeah, Yeah, that's a good question. It's, and everybody on this planet is work in progress, right? Including the teachers. So nobody is saying that, for you to be able to teach the straw breaths to others, you have to be completely stress free or you have to be this person, right? You're also work in progress. In fact, I find that the most effective educators are those who model behavior to their students. The teachers who practice along with their students the breathing technique, saying, I'm also stressed out, I have all these papers to grade, so let's all do the straw breaths together. They are way more effective in getting the kids to participate in breathing techniques. Yeah. Okay. Monica has her hand up.
Yeah, I think what you said, modeling is important, and also to create a routine, like in the beginning of the class, or maybe in the end when they're already really tired or something. And one thing that happens, I think it happens in most Western societies, that we don't have this habit of practicing breathing exercises like in the East, like you do in India and other places like that. So I think one thing that is really important is to explain students scientifically why this is important. Otherwise, they will believe this is just boring and there's no reason for that. And I think it's important to explain why physically it's important for us.
That's a very, very good point, because our kids now are getting really smart, right? Like my mom always jokes, nowadays kids they come out of their mother's womb, swiping screens, they already know how to do that, yeah? So they're incredibly smart. So what I really agree with your point about explaining to the kids why the breathing technique works. Like in the case of straw breath, it reduces your heart rate. It reduces your panic. Like a lot of kids use it when they're getting panic attacks also. So it reduces anxiety, right? So, and also for teachers to say, like I always give examples from my life where I use the straw breath. Like I get very nervous when I'm flying, so, and if the flight is turbulent, it immediately starts giving me panic, so then I use the straw breath and I calm down, because I cannot do anything else. I cannot get down. I don't know how to, fly a plane or make anything better outside. So I just do the straw breaths and make my insides better, down, right? Yeah, so that's a very, very good point to bring up, Monica. Yeah, giving kids evidence-based scientific techniques is really a good idea. Yeah, and personal examples also help a lot.
Yeah.
Alice has her hand up.
Yes, I just want to share about the technique. For example, your technique was very great one, but if I use this one with kids, in this case they will get slipped. The other one, at the end of the lesson, I usually use the therapy of seeds. How when we put the seeds in the ground and then how it started as a plant grows. I use this one with kids at the end of the lesson. It always helps me because they are very tired. And when I say we are going to be like a plant, they start to get up. And at the end, it's when they just raise their hands and like imagining that one of them is an apple tree, then purity, etc. So, but I'm interested, is there any kind of techniques, for example, in the middle of the class, just to activate, for example, breathing once they breathe, but they are active, but something that, for example, with kids, with adults, with teenagers, it's easier, but with kids, we are a little bit, have to be more attentive because sometimes they just may, I don't know, is there any kind of unique technique that you
Yeah.
can offer?
Yeah, so Alice, so in the Sky Schools program, typically we spend about a third of the time we teach it as part of curriculum in most schools. In the US, in middle and high schools, we teach it as part of the PE curriculum, the physical education curriculum. And in the lower grades, we teach it just part of as part of the school day. That's the only way we have found that we can bring it to a large number of kids. It's not been very successful as an after school program in the United States because kids have so many other extracurriculars. So after school doesn't seem to work. But in curriculum, what we do is the first 1/3 of the time is spent doing physical activity, some cardio activity, games, something active that removes, all that squirrely things that kids have, all the restlessness they have, because that's normal for young children to have restlessness in their body. So we make sure we take care of the body first. And when they are just, all that restlessness leaves the body, they can sit down and learn breathing techniques. We teach them different ones. This one is the easiest one to bring to kids, of all age groups. We also have different ones to increase the energy. We have ones that help kids focus better, to overcome fear of public speaking, right? So we have different targeted breathing techniques for the students that we teach. Yeah, so once the body is taken care of, then we approach the mind through breathing techniques. And after that, we give them the social emotional learning curriculum, because otherwise they don't absorb that learning so well. First, you take care of the body, then the mind, and then you give the talking piece, to them. Yeah. Did that help? Okay. Farah?
Thank you. So for me, I have a question. Like sometimes teachers can have bad days too, or they have problems in their own lives. And how can we stay positive and professional in class without projecting our feelings? And sometimes children or students can feel it too when, we look sad or, or we look angry or things like that. So do you have any tips for that? Thank you.
That's a very good question, Farah. And which is why Sky Schools, earlier started with just student level programming. But now we also bring it to educators and parents. Because just giving kids some techniques for 45 minutes or 1 hour every day, and then the rest of the day, they're dealing with their class teacher, they're dealing with their stress at home, right? They're dealing with so much. So we also have programs, adult level programs for educators and parents, right? Where we teach adult level social emotional learning and breathing techniques, right? In schools, in some of our schools in the US, we have found that once teachers have techniques to handle their own stress, then the office referrals go down by more than 50%. Office referrals means, when the teacher is sending the student to the principal's office when they can't handle them, right? So that reduces by more than 50% because they are able to handle the student in class at that point in time because their mind is in a much better state, right? So yes, we do teach adult level programs and the teachers can practice the techniques every day, and that helps a lot too. Yeah, helps a lot. Yeah, because all of us have lives outside our jobs and there is drama in all our lives, right? So being able to handle that is very, very important. Yeah. Anything else?
Dil- Dilroba had a good one. Dilroba, do you want to share this one? You wrote it in the chat, or I can just read it for her. She wrote, sometimes we face different levels of students in the class, and it's difficult to work with difficult children. So I mean, we've all experienced students are easier to work with or more difficult. What would you say to us as educators to manage, when we're face to face with a student who is difficult for us?
Well, I would say take care of your own mind first, right? Make sure that when you're approaching any student, whether they're difficult or not, that you are in a good state of mind, right? And, sometimes knowing a little bit more about the kids, when I started teaching in the Bay Area, I was sent to schools where there's a large number of immigrant students from South America, mainly from Mexico, right? And a lot of them had been to prison or had, their parents in prison, or they had abandonment issues and all sorts of, English learning issues, all sorts of very difficult times. So they used to act up a lot in class. It was not because they're bad as people, right? It's just that stress is working as a shield between their human values and their interaction with me, right? That stress is coming in between like a curtain, right? So, so I start by sharing my own stories if they're old enough, okay? Not with the little ones. If they're tweens and teens, then maybe share a little bit from your own life, your own difficulties that you've faced and how you overcome them, right? Then you look more like a human being to them, not like a teacher on a pedestal. So I know teachers also need to be respected, but believe me, just by being vulnerable does not make you less respected. It makes you more respected. So if they are at an age group where you can share with them, right, then share with them, right? Then they will also open up, right? Then you see that the child is not a difficult child, it's not being able to process the drama in their life which is making them difficult, right? So then that empathy comes and we can handle it much better, like, make sense?
Yeah.
Priya, I think that it's beautiful that you kind of start your sessions with how you pivoted from one industry to another and made kind of a personal connection with us right off the bat. I kind of wonder if more people here today are going to say after we hang up from the Zoom and think, okay, I want to pivot to wellness, not necessarily a career change, but just something where I'm focusing more of my time and my space on wellness. What's one kind of good habit or practice that you set in motion to make a long-term change?
Long-term habit to make a long-term change. Yeah. Well, know that life is short. Know that life is short, and we as educators are in this beautiful position to nurture and mold minds. So let's do that. And the best thing I would say is anything starts with you, right? Any change starts with you, so be the change you want to see, right? We hear that saying all the time. So let's be that change first and use some techniques, whatever it is for you, and handle our mind, our emotions first, and then the change in the children will come automatically. We have seen in schools, teachers say how their entire classroom, the energy has shifted once they have started calming, practicing some ways of taking care of themselves. So that's really, really important. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. It's such a good point, and also it just makes me think of one of those points that we share with Sky Schools about how, Monica was talking, you were too, about how role models are so important, and most of the things we learn is through role modeling, and they could be bad or good role models. So I just wanted to share that thought because I think when someone's acting in a certain way that we feel is wrong, or that they shouldn't, maybe not, whatever judgment we put on it, they may just have received that from their role models. So what you're saying is they need a new role model. So just wanted to share that point because I know it's one of the things we share, and it seems, yeah, important.
Yay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for having me. So I will send you, Armin, a couple of videos, okay? YouTube video links. One with straw breath, and another one is a very short, like 3-minute guided relaxation, which all these teachers can practice for themselves and also bring it to their students, as they see fit. It's in English, so for some of you, you may need to translate. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor and a blessing to be with all of you. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Whatever, you get the picture. Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah. Okay. Take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody. Lots of love. Lots of love to everybody.
You're the best. We'll do a photo. We'll do a love photo. Everyone, love it up. Love it up. Let's see. Three, two. Whoever has a heart on their hand, they can put it up. You have a heart in your body, but you definitely need to get it on your hand. All right, three, two, one. One more time for anyone who wants to. I'm putting half a heart. My heart's not broken, but I only have one hand. Okay. Thank you, Priya, for joining us and sharing, and we hope to share with you whatever.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priya. Does everyone want to go ahead and send Priya a thank you? I'm going
Thank
to
you. Lots of
attend
love.
more.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us. Bye, Priya.
Bye, Armin.
We really appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
We'll share the videos that you send me. All right. Well, we have a couple more minutes left. Louise, what do you think? Should we breakout room it? Should we just share here? Can we use an Indian goodbye?
Um,
We could, but the trio
only
left.
about 31 people. I wonder if everyone was thinking about taking some kind of action, whether it has to do with wellness or something cool you saw online and you just want to take action, what would it look like? Is action going to be to take a nap? I don't know. Was there anything that someone wanted to share or maybe reflect on with the group?
I'd like to share something that we do in Indonesia. We call it senam kesegaran jasmani. It's like a gymnastic that usually that's what is the kids in our country do in the morning. It's usually like 10 minutes before the first class begins. And sometimes teachers also will point out some students who can lead the the exercise. And what is it? It's good for them to learn about, the sense of leadership and being confident as well. So it's not only about, being healthy and stuff. And also they can meet some other students from different classes as well, right? So it's not only, being just knowing people in their class. So that's a really good thing to do. Not sure if it's still they still do it in Indonesia. I remember that's what I did when I was in elementary school, junior high school, even senior high school. Yeah, it's nice. Good 10 minute start in the morning.
It's really cool.
That sounds so
I actually have
wonderful.
like a
Such a good
short
morning.
what is it presentation, but I can't share my screen right now.
You can now.
Oh, okay. Let me try. Let me see. Where did I put it? um,
You can share it after you find it if you would like.
it's actually in my okay. All right. I put it in Canva, so it's only um, two slides, so you can see the students when they're doing it. So we call it SKJ, Senam Jasmani Rohani, Kesegaran Jasmani. Maybe you have heard Mensana Incorpore Sano. So that's where where there is a healthy body, there's a healthy mind, right? So here's the presentation a little bit. Yeah, so students will gather in the field, and they sometimes the headmaster will do some kind of what is it announcement, and then they will start to do the exercise. So 10 minutes before the first class begins, and so you can see it's a fun thing to do as well in the morning for the students. And it's not only for the students, sometimes teachers also can join. So we call it senam or gymnastic. So it's good for our health and creating social relations between students and teachers. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you.
It also looks like the students are leading parts of it, which it reminds me what Ambrose said about, like you teach something and then you let them lead it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good for them to learn about the sense of leadership that I said before. Yeah, I tried it once. It was kind of embarrassing, but then okay, forget it. People will follow anyway. So
They have fun. Thank you.
That sounds so wonderful. I'm
I
gonna
think
look
you need to
up
lead
the
that for us
later.
before we go live.
Sounds
Next time you lead it
cool.
for us. James is physical education
It's
teacher.
on you,
He'll,
Vera.
he's gonna lead us in capoeira and you'll lead us in Indonesian capoeira. Okay?
Wow, Indonesian capoeira. That's cool. I don't even know how to do capoeira, so maybe our Brazilian friends will help us.
No, but that's the version. You just
Oh,
explaining it. That is Indonesian.
it needs the music too. It's fun. It's old school, like in the 80s, but it's still fun.
Gian, go ahead and tell us what's going on in your research group. Tell us first what is your research group and who's in it, and then what you guys are working on.
So, our research group is about autonomy and empathy and the role of emotions in language learning. In this semester, we're discussing about teacher well-being because it's something that sometimes we don't discuss. And one of the books that we use is The Elephant in the Staff Room because we never talk about that. My presentation was about energy, and my partner and I, we tried to, instead of only showing theory, we tried to promote interaction with the teachers. So we started with mindfulness, so a 3-minute meditation where they could perceive their body, their energy, and then we go to the next activity. It was about drawing your one energy. How do you perceive yourself after the meditation? And everybody drew about themselves, and we shared our drawings in our WhatsApp group because we are, social distance. And then we could, that way, we could connect with each other because we could perceive how everybody was feeling and start comparing with our own feelings. And the result was that we saw that people were struggling with things that were pretty similar to our own lives. And when you make an environment for sharing, because I think that's our biggest challenge, is to create a secure environment for sharing. Then you go to the next step, which is supporting. Right? And teachers' energy can be, it's a kind of circle that it's a cycle. You receive energy and you give energy. And the thing is, are we continue the cycle, this cycle, or we are just giving our energy as teachers? One of the things is that we plan so much, we blame ourselves so much for not doing things that are in our one mind, that we don't receive energy back. Sometimes we forget to have outside interests, outside from classroom interests. We forget to reserve at least 2 times a week for ourselves, at least one night on the weekdays and one whole day on the weekend for ourselves. And that experience in our research group of giving them space, a safe space for sharing, was, well, oh my God, wonderful. And I think that's the thing when we're talking about well-being. It's creating a safe environment for sharing. Okay.
I love that, Gian. As we always talk about like different strategies and things that we want to put into practice. I know we talked about a little bit about putting wellness and breathing into practice. I wonder how you guys could make, everyone has an idea to prioritize self-care and wellness. And also not only for ourselves, but also for our colleagues, understanding that all teachers need that. I would love to hear ideas about how people do that in the chat, or if someone wants to unmute themselves. That's so important, Jean. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, I just have a suggestion of one activity. While we're talking about energy, we create a game. Maybe you've seen on Instagram or Facebook. There is a chart with one activity, and if you've done that activity, you receive 10 points or 15 points, right? So we create a frame of energy, and everybody could analyze themselves of if they're sleeping for about 6 or 7 hours. Are they eating food with quality regularly? Do they have time for lunch? Because sometimes we skip lunch for work, right? Do you make meditation or something like that? And then we gotta score 100 out of from 100 to 0, from 0 to 100. And then maybe it's one activity that we can discuss with our students when we are talking about how they're dealing with the social distance. We can create like a frame with some score and put a battery there and say, how is your energy today? And how can we, have this classroom as a support environment for each other?
Yeah, such a good point. Especially, I know I've heard students insulting each other, and it's like that's just their inner negativity coming outwards. So we really need to help them not learn a new way.
Yeah,
We
I can
also need
share
to
my. I'm sorry.
share it in
Uh,
the
I'm
community.
just gonna show the frame as an example, but it's in Portuguese. I'm sorry, but it's just for you to see the gamification of it. Just one sec. And share. So yeah, you can create something like this. How's your energy? And then you put the score for each action of self-care. So about your sleep hours, the food you eat, if you have time to rest. Do you spend a lot of time with negative ideas, with negative people, And then when you create that, and then we have the score, then you can start talking about that, because people have concrete things to talk about.
Wow.
Right?
Jan, is that a form that you're using with teachers or with students as well?
This one was applied first with the teachers in the research group. I haven't applied with students yet. That was my first experiment, was with the teachers. Now I can transfer to students. Okay.
It sounds like a really cool assignment, actually, to ask students to create their own wellness battery pack.
Could you share it with me on Canva, and then I could create it for our group in English?
Sure. Just put in your email on the chat box and I can do it.
Yeah. Really cool.
Do you have anything they want to share? Did anyone else have anything they want to share or talk about with the group?
I was just
Okay.
gonna I was gonna just compliment. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna compliment Bryant because I think that he's like an amazing example of someone who uses his energy constantly, and he receives so much energy from his interactions, specifically with students around the world. Because I was listening, I think an interview with I think Alice, your student Zavin. I'm not sure. Maybe that's guy and a student, but I just wanted to compliment. Like when the relationship between a teacher and a student is working correctly, usually you're receiving something back. Not always, but if it's really heavy and exhausting, like John was talking about, that's because it's all going out. It's like driving a car and never putting gasoline in it. So I don't know if Brian wants to talk about it, but I see him as a great person and someone who I want to be like. Tell about how you get energy because this is important as teachers. Like, how are we fueling ourselves?
Well, thanks for that compliment, Armin. Well, actually, it just all started when we had our social and emotional learning, the group way back 2020. It all started there. I saw the beauty of teaching. And then apparently, you and Josh introduced podcasting. And then I just felt that this is my calling. Like I've mentioned with you and some other teachers who I've interviewed, Juliana, James, teacher Alice. I've been in the call center industry for 8 years, so I never thought that I could, escape from that reality. But then, when you really love what you're doing, which is, teaching, uh, it all followed back. And then I'm on the spot right now wherein I love what I'm doing. I'm comfortable, even if I cannot go out during weekends, the usual thing I do. I just try to escape from my teaching with an hour biking. But then I love what I'm doing. This kinds of session, others might think that, this is an extra burden for them. But then this is my way of relaxation. Actually, I'm about to start my day teaching my students, but then I'm starting it with you guys. So uh, just just think of this as your passion. My podcasting has been a passion. You guys teaching us Pixton, I enjoyed it. I've used it with my students, and my project is using that Pixton. If you're gonna check the works of my student, the university students, they really love it. So basically, where do I get my energy? From my students and from you, my colleagues. That's the secret.
Cause you're an energizer bunny. Whatever you're eating, Bryant, we need to have some of that Filipino food. You send it around the world.
Oh, that was just a pasta. My wife cooked that a while ago, and she said it's gonna get cold, so eat while you're doing your meeting. I said, how can I eat? You just, you know, lower down your head. I said, I cannot.
Shut the camera off for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but she's really insisting. She said, "Come on, eat that up." I said, "Someone is looking. They would understand you."
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Bryant. Um, I think it's really late or early or different times in everyone's country, but we want to use any of your creative ideas and try to create something cool for your students, or use the inspiration of Bryant or Farah or Alice. She shared ideas. Priya shared the wonderful straw technique and the idea of making friends with different people. And I think someone asked a question uh, about, like, do I want to be friends with everyone? You may not be friendly with everyone, but you can try to send love to people, even if they're not your best friend. And I think that was the whole point of what she was saying. was to, try to treat people well or something, which is not easy for everyone. But do you want to
I
add
think
anything, Louise, or anyone else? Anyone want to share something?
I think it depends on the topic because if Priya hasn't that kind of therapy, let's say therapy, and we are relaxed, and now we don't want to go out, to join out of it. That's why I think it depends on. We try to remember something for energizing, for relaxing, and also giving our students something. Now it's nearly 5 p.m., but I am still full of energy.
5 a.m.
5 nearly
A.M.
yes, 5 a.m. in 20 minutes, and at 7 a.m. I have a lesson at online school, but I'm full of energy.
So whatever Bryant's eating and Alice is eating, we're gonna learn what they're
I
eating.
can say I can say my secret.
We need to know because some of us get
Thanks.
tired, frustrated, and
Okay,
not so easy.
the secret is nuts. You take nuts, roast nuts, then have small pieces and mix with honey. And every morning, 1 spoon eat when you are hungry. When you get up, the first thing that you do, eat. It's the first secret. The second secret. Okay, let's share it. It's Armenian. I don't know. Will you be able to do it or not? It was told one of the professor. I haven't. I started doing it, but only for one day. I think our male, our men can do it. As for me, I couldn't do it. It's alcohol of mulberry.
Okay. Mulberry alcohol. Okay.
Yes, I
I've
don't
not.
know. You can maybe you can find in our country. It's a very precious one. You can find. You can ask your grandpa to bring with him to you. It is said that every day for a month, you can use it at 3 or 4 a.m. You got up, drink one small for a month. It is said when you drink it, it's so strong that you then fell asleep, and after it, your brain still works. And everything, yes, it is said and it is proved. I know people who have done it, and it has helped to work their brain work. But as for me, nuts. I just use nuts and honey. You can do it. Full of
Wonderful.
energy.
Cool. Thank you, Alice.
Okay, everyone. Well, let's send Alice some good vibes, whatever you can send her way. And Armin, are we pretty good? If no one else has anything to share, we can go ahead and wrap up for the evening or morning or afternoon or
Midnight or whatever time it is. Well, best of luck, Alice. Good on your PhD, papers that you're doing, and great job on finishing your last subject, Juliana. Um, we'll just ask if people can sign the form for Priya, because I'm sure she would love the feedback. And with that, we'll have a beautiful morning or night. And hi, Winnie. We're going, but good to see you. Bye. Happy you came. Bye, Juana.
It's
Bye,
morning
Farah.
for Winnie. For Winnie, it is morning.
All right, so I don't know. Get some mulberry juice
Ciao.
or nuts.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, Alice. Bye, Juliana.
Armin,
Bye.
can you
Ciao.
put
Goodbye,
the
everyone.
attendance list again,
Winnie just connected.
Sure.
Join. Hi, Winnie.
Hi, Winnie. 1 second.
大家好, Winnie. 大家好. What's that? Good morning. I forgot.
Good morning. She's at school.
The attendance form, I think is right here. No, no. Attendance form. There it
Ciao,
is.
ciao,
Hope you
gente.
got it. All right, John?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Bye,
Ciao.
Doroba. Bye, John. Bye, Rasha. Have a good evening and week. Bye, Winnie. Bye,
Take
Jerry.
care,
Bye,
everyone.
John.
Stay
Al.
safe.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye bye.
Khadija.